Hey, Shalom, you have the brother Abaya back here once again. Before I get started, like always, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shah Bahasham, Rachachakwadash. Double honors to my teachers, the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect. Let's go into the story of Naaman, Elisha, and Elisha's servant, which believe Elisha's servant name was Gehazi'S. Well, we're gonna read it anyway, so it'll come out. But yeah, over here in 2 Kings, the 5th chapter, it's an edifying story. You can take some life lessons from it. So Naaman was a high-ranking Syrian commander, general, however you wish to word it, but he was one of the top war generals of the Syrian army, all right, under the Syrian king. So let's read verse 1. It says, "Now Naaman, captain of the host of the king of Syria, was a great man with his master and honorable, because by him the Lord had given deliverance unto Syria." So that shows you, because when you see all caps, Lord, that's the Most High's name, Yahweh. So it says the Most High Yahweh gave, gave the Syrian army the power to conquer, right? To win their battles, right? Okay, through the hands of Naaman. What does the scriptures tell us? The scriptures tell us that the Lord is a man of war. So even when you look in today's time and people get all up in arms and emotional about war and physical combat between nations and just violence and war in general, that's a part of life. That's a part of how the Lord set up the earth. So that's just how the Lord set it up. So if you have a problem with that, you have a problem with reality. Okay, you got to take your emotions out of it. War, peace, violence, being non-violent, it's all a part of life, right? It says, continuing reading verse 1, it says, "He was also a mighty man in valor, but he was a leper." And this also shows that the Lord, Power Yahweh, can lift up one nation and put down another, right? What does the scriptures tell us? What does the scriptures tell us that at? Bear with me one moment. It's over here in Daniel. Bear with me one moment. I don't think it's Daniel the 7th chapter. Oh, it's Psalms. Okay, my fault. Psalms chapter 75, verse 7, it says, "But the Most High is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another." All right. And even when you go to verse 6, it says, For promotion cometh neither not from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But our power, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, is the judge. He putteth down one and setteth up another. So the Lord decides who's going to be the empires on the earth. All right. The kingdoms on the earth. All right. Verse 2. So even though this guy was a mighty man in war, all right, he was the top war general of the Syrian army, he was a leper. And we know what leprosy is, all right? It's the turning out of the flesh. So if you see a albino so-called black person, their flesh looks turned inside out, right? They have white spots all over their flesh. That's leprosy, okay? Verse 2, it says, "And the Syrians had gone out by companies and had brought away captive out of the land of Israel a little maid, and she waited on Naaman's wife. And she said unto her mistress, Would God my Lord were the prophet that is in Samaria, for he would recover him of his leprosy. And one went in and told his Lord, saying, Thus and thus said the maid that is of the land of Israel. All right. So this maid came from the land of Israel. So she had faith in healing. Verse 5, it says, And the king of Syria said, Go, and I will send a letter unto the king of Israel. And he departed and took with him 10 talents of silver and 6,000 pieces of gold and 10 changes of raiment. And he brought the letter to the king of Israel, saying, Now, when this letter is come unto thee, behold, I have therewith sent Naaman my servant to thee, that thou mayest recover him of his leprosy. So the king of Syria wanted the king of Israel to heal Naaman of his leprosy. I don't know why he thought a king would have that type of power, but this is the reaction of the king of Israel. In verse 7 it says, And it came to pass, when the king of Israel had read the letter, that he rent his clothes and said, Am I God, to kill and to make alive, that this man doth send unto me to recover a man of his leprosy? Wherefore consider, I pray you, and see how he seeketh a quarrel against me. So the king of Israel took it as, the king of Syria knows I don't have healing powers. So is he trying to start, beef with me? Is he trying to start a quarrel with me? Is he trying to start a war with me? Like, what's the point of this, right? Which that's valid feelings, because he's just a king. We all know the highest office in Israel is not the king, it's the prophets. All right, verse 8. And it was so, when Elisha, the man of God, had heard that the king of Israel had rent his clothes, that he sent to the king, saying, Wherefore hast thou rent thy clothes? Let him come down to me, and he shall know that there is a prophet in Israel. So Naaman came with his horses and with his chariot, and stood at the door of the house of Elisha. And Elisha sent a messenger unto him, saying, Go and wash in Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again to thee, and thou shalt be clean. But Naaman was wroth, and went away, and said, Behold, I thought he will surely come out to me, and stand and call on the name of the Lord power Yahweh his God, and strike his hand over the place and recover the leper. Are not Abana and Pharpar, rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? May I not wash in them and be clean? So he turned and went away in a rage. So he was like, Look, you want me to wash in the Jordan? If he was looking at it from a carnal mindset instead of a spiritual mindset. He was like, you want me to come all the way here just to wash in y'all rivers? Do not we have more resources? Is not our waters cleaner than y'all waters? That's how he was looking at it. He wasn't looking at it as that being a spiritual holy river that the prophet was working with through the power of Yahweh, right? He was just looking at a physical thing. If you just want me to dip my body in water, I can do that over in Damascus, in Syria, in my homeland. So he had a little attitude about that. Verse 13. And his servants came near and spoke unto him and said, My father, if the prophet had bid thee to do some great thing, thou wouldest not have done it? How much rather then when he saith to thee, Wash and be clean? Then he went down and dipped himself 7 times in Jordan, according to the saying of the man of the Most High. And his flesh came again like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. So he hearkened to the words of the prophet Elisha, and he was healed from his leprosy. That's a life lesson for you, to hearken unto the prophets, man. Listen to the prophets, because the Lord is dealing with the prophets. The Lord himself is not going to come down and serve you. He's going to give you prophets to deal with you. Verse 15. Here comes Elisha'S servant, Gehazi, into the picture. And he returned to the man of God, he and all his company, and came and stood before him. And he said, Behold, now I know that there is no God in all the earth but in Israel. Now therefore I pray thee, take a blessing of thy servant. But he said, As Yahweh liveth, before whom I stand, I will receive none. And he urged him to take it, but he refused. So Naaman wanted Elisha to, take his gift for healing him. But Naaman was, as you can clearly see, Elisha was, as you can clearly see, a very humble and meek servant. So he refused the gift and just gave the glory to Yahweh. Verse 17, and Naaman said, Shall there not then, I pray thee, be given to thy servant 2 mules of earth? For thy servant will henceforth offer neither burnt offering nor sacrifice unto other gods, but unto the Lord power Yahweh. In this thing Yahweh pardon thy servant, that when my master goeth into the house of Rimmon to worship there, and he leaneth on my hand, and I bow myself in the house of Rimmon, when I bow down myself in the house of Ramon, the Lord power Yahweh pardon thy servant in this thing. So he was saying, your Lord powers, he'll let you get away with receiving a gift from, a man that doesn't necessarily worship him, because the Syrians had their own God. So he was saying, even though I pray in the house of Ramon, you can still take a gift from me. Your power won't take offense to that. But this is what Elisha said to him. Verse 19, he said, and he said unto him, Go in peace. So he departed from him a little way. But Gehazi, the servant of Elisha, the man of God, said, Behold, my master hath spared Naaman the Syrian, in not receiving at his hands that which he had brought. But as Yahweh liveth, I will run after him and take somewhat of him. So Gehazi was like, Nah, I'm about to go get this reward from him. Shit, my master healed him. We're going to get something for this. Right? Verse 21. So Gehazi followed after Naaman. And when Naaman saw him running after him, he lighted down from the chariot to meet him and said, Is all well? And he said, All is well. My master hath sent me, saying, Behold, even now there be come to me from Mount Ephraim 2 young men of the sons of the prophets. Give them, I pray thee, a talent of silver and 2 changes of garments. So Gehazi went and lied and said that Elisha told him to chase after Naaman, and to tell Naaman that 2 men, the sons of the prophets, was coming, and that he needed a talent of silver and 2 different pairs of garments. Right? So he basically just lied in the name of Elisha. Verse 23, and Naaman said, Be content, take 2 talents. And he urged him and bound 2 talents of silver in 2 bags with 2 changes of garments. And he laid them upon 2 of his servants, and they bare them before him. So he gave, instead of 1 talent, he gave Gehazi 2 talents and the 2 changes of garments. Verse 24, and when he came to the tower, he took them from their hand and bestowed them in the house. And he let the men go, and they departed. But when he went in and stood before his master, and Elisha said unto him, Whence comest thou, Gehazi? And he said, Thy servant went no whither. So not only did he lie on Elisha's name, but he lied to Elisha's face. So that's definitely worthy of judgment, because Elisha was a highly beloved prophet of the Most High Yahweh. Bahashem Yahushua. Right? Verse 26, it says, And he said unto him, Went not mine heart with thee, when the man turned again from his chariot to meet thee? Is it a time to receive money, and to receive garments, and olive yards, and vineyards, and sheep, and oxen, and men servants, and maidservants? Therefore the leprosy of Naaman shall cleave unto thee, and unto thy seed forever. And he went out from his presence a leper as white as snow. So yeah, that's greed. Gehazi was consumed by greed in that moment. And not only that, he became he defrauded Elisha. All right, he defrauded Naaman in the name of Elisha, and then he defrauded Elisha to his face. So Elisha judged him, man. So yeah, this is a good story to go into. Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. Till next time, I say shalom.